Hey there, millionaire. For Billy Ray Harris, a normal day didn't begin with a fresh cup of coffee or a delicious breakfast. Instead of going to a warm bed at night, Billy slept in a plastic crate on a busy street corner. Every day, Billy would wake up and hold out his empty cup for change on the streets of Kansas City, Missouri. But on one fateful February day, he found something worth more than just change in his signature cup. Shocked to the core, Billy couldn't believe his eyes. A sparkling diamond ring shining amongst the quarters and nickels. And what happened next shocked the world. But how exactly did a beautiful engagement ring end up in Billy's cup? Who was the ultra-generous person who did this? Well, yoga studio owner and ordinary citizen Sarah Darling was rushing to her work when she noticed the homeless man asking for spare change. Feeling generous, Sarah decided to do her part and offer the man any change she had in her purse. Not wanting to dig inside her purse and waste time, Sarah simply turned her purse upside down and let the coins flow from the bag into the homeless man's cup. But as fate would have it, Darling left more than just spare change on that Kansas City street corner. Residents of downtown Kansas City all knew who Billy Ray Harris was. For 16 years, the homeless man would sit on his signature spot and rely on the kindness of his fellow citizens for support. While some would simply pass by Billy without giving him any attention, the 55-year-old man got through every single day from the kind donations of strangers. Pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters would add up to be enough for one meal, and that is how Billy survived the long days and nights. But he wasn't always homeless. The Missouri resident lost his house 16 years before and since had become homeless. Along with very serious financial hardships, Harris lost contact with his family and friends. Left without a soul to speak to or a roof over his head, Billy decided to take up the street corner in downtown Kansas City. Still, after months and years of humble beginning in the streets, Billy never lost hope that his life would one day change and become better. And that hope miraculously came true, thanks to, you guessed it, Sarah Darling. Let's go back to the ring. As any other recently engaged woman, Sarah loved to flaunt her huge diamond ring on her finger, whether it was to show off to her friends or admire it all day. Darling was rarely seen without the ring her fiancé, Bill Krejci, proposed with. After all, the luxurious ring had a deeper meaning, as it was a family heirloom passed down to Sarah's fiancé. It was horrible. It was such a feeling of loss. It meant so much to me, beyond just the financial value, Darling said. Bill's mother always wanted her son to give his ring to the love of his life. But if it was so important, how did the expensive diamond ring end up in Billy's hands? After suffering a minor finger injury and experiencing swelling and discomfort, Sarah decided it was best to let her joints heal. And that's how the diamond ring made its way to Sarah's purse, and later on, into Billy's plastic cup. And what did Billy do with the expensive ring? Well, keep watching. At the end of the day, Billy would normally count the change he had collected from that evening. Well, on this February day, Harris noticed something strange. After scavenging through the pennies, he noticed a shiny ring gleaming through. Billy took out the ring and noticed it had a huge diamond rock in the middle of it. When I finally decided to leave, I got on my bike and dumped the change in my hand, and there was the ring, Harris said. At first, the homeless man didn't know what to think. His mind was going in all directions. Was the ring real? How much was it worth? And could he sell it to make a better life for himself after so many years of struggles? Impatient to find out the truth, Billy visited a pawn shop that very next day. Can you guess how much the ring was actually worth? The ring was so big, I knew if it was real, it had to be expensive, he commented. Stunned and confused, the homeless man of the Kansas City street corner now held a whopping $4,000 ring in his hand. This money could change and improve Billy's life forever, and it truly did, but not in the way you may think. By the time Sarah realized something was missing, it was already too late. Billy had already gone to the pawn shop and discovered the actual worth of his most recent find. Somewhat optimistic that she could talk to Billy and hopefully get the ring back, Sarah went over to downtown Kansas City, but Harris was nowhere to be found. Sarah began getting more concerned with the fact that Billy might have already sold the ring at this point. Determined to get back the family heirloom ring, Sarah went again the next day, and there Billy was, sitting exactly where he would ask for donations from strangers. Sarah approached Billy and introduced herself. As Darling recalled, I asked him, "I don't know if you remember me, but I think I gave you something that's very precious to me." And Billy's response is what truly left an impression on Sarah. Was it a ring? Yeah, I have it. I kept it for you. That is when Billy took out the $4,000 ring from his pocket and gave it back to the rightful owner. But this is not where the story ends. it gets better, and what happens next changes Billy's life forever. You might be thinking, Billy could have easily pawned the diamond ring and gained enough money to maybe restart his life. Harris would have food, warmth, new clothes, and even a roof over his head, at least for a couple of months, for him to get back on his feet. But why didn't he just sell the ring? What stopped him from being selfish? Billy confessed, "My grandfather was a reverend. He raised me from the time I was 6 months old, and thank the good Lord. It's a blessing, but I do still have some character." Absolutely moved and inspired by Billy's actions, Sarah and her fiancé, Bill, decided to give something back to the homeless man that was worth more than just spare change. The engaged couple were no longer strangers to Billy. They were his newfound friends. The couple soon created a webpage for Billy on Give Forward, where kind strangers could donate their money. Along with sharing the incredible story of selflessness and honor to the people of Missouri, Sarah and Bill set on a mission to spread the word across the nation. Sarah shared, "We set a goal for $1,000. We set it up because a lot of people who had been touched by the story expressed interest in helping Billy Ray." Within days, $5, $10, $50, and even $100 donations would come rushing in to help Billy get back on his feet. But no one could have predicted how much money was going to be raised. To everyone's surprise, in just 3 months, that $1,000 donation goal turned into a $190,000 reality. Yes, you heard that right. Thanks to the generous citizens of the world, Billy Ray Harris now had nearly $200,000 to his name. The unbelievable turn of events was hard for Billy to fully digest and process. He immediately sought help from a financial advisor, so he wouldn't make the same mistakes that made him end up on the streets. And just like that, what could have been Billy's $4,000 pawn reward grew into a full-life transformation. Harris was no longer seen on the street corners of Kansas City. He had long packed up his plastic cup and crate. Billy was now living the American dream. But that's not where the story ends. With a car and his very own home, the 55-year-old's begging days were behind him. But according to Billy, the $190,000 money donation wasn't the best thing that came out of his encounter with Sarah Darling. After years of not hearing from him, Billy's family heard his amazing, tear-jerking story. Harris's family was finally able to contact him and rebuild their lost relationship. This was the real victory for Billy, having his family by his side, supporting and loving him once again. When opening up about his painful and traumatic past, Billy expressed relief to today. "Thank God it's over. I mean, I feel human now. This is what they call the American dream." In a matter of 3 short months, Billy Ray Harris's life went through a complete 180-degree metamorphosis. To this day, the resident of Missouri is forever grateful and thankful for the selfless donations and acts of kindness from people who didn't even know him. Billy said, "I want to thank all the people that helped me out. I want them to see where all their efforts, blessings, and kindness is going." Let Billy Ray Harris's story be a real-life inspiration. Thanks to Billy's integrity, optimism, and never-ending hope, the homeless man turned his life around and influenced millions across the globe, showing us that good acts of kindness can take us way further than a couple of bucks.